Welcome to Higher Education Advocates Podcast. This podcast is about supporting students and families as they navigate through the post-secondary complexities of college. From time to time, I will touch base on current events. Expect to hear jam-packed information that includes strategies and tips. The goal is to empower families and help them make informed decisions. Expect to hear from higher education professionals, HR professionals, tax pros, mental health professionals, financial aid administrators, students, parents, plus more. My name is Teresa Harris, and I'm a college financial aid expert. I'm also the founder and owner of Scholarship Momma. I have a master's in higher education, and I am an alum of Robert Morris University in Chicago. I'm a wife, mom, and grandmother. My heart is for our youth, but the information I'm sharing is relevant for all age groups. When it comes to college, my experience as an adult student was fantastic. I was eager to learn and ready to start a new career, and the only way I could pay for college was to borrow loans. One thing I failed to realize is the impact student loans would have on my future. I borrowed thousands of dollars during my undergraduate career, and as time went on, the amount I owed ballooned. As of this recording, I'm still paying off student loans, and I completed college years ago. For the record, I don't have anything against student loans, but I do believe in responsible borrowing, which is something I didn't do. As for the podcast, expect to hear from me on a bi-weekly basis. This podcast is available on Anchor FM and Scholarship Momma YouTube channel. For more information, check out my website, www.scholarshipmomma.com. Hey friends, this is Teresa Harris, aka Scholarship Momma. Welcome to Higher Education Advocates Podcast. Today's podcast is going to be exciting. I'm happy to have Rockell Bartoli today. I'm only going to say two things about Rockell's background because I want her to expand more on her background. Here's my two things. Rockell is an author and a professional speaker. Today, we are going to be discussing quite a bit. Anyway, Rockell, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you, Teresa, aka Scholarship Momma, for having me on this podcast. I'm really excited about the opportunity. My name again is Rockell Bartoli. My friends, family, and all of my close people call me Rocky. So I'm a professional speaker, like you stated. I speak mostly to students and to professionals that work with students, focusing on the habits that help us to be successful in school, work, and life. Along with that, I am a high school guidance counselor. I work with high school students in 9th through 12th grade, helping them to graduate from high school and move into their post-secondary education, whether that's college, vocational school, or military route, etc. I'm also a mom. I have 2 kids. I'm married, and I live in beautiful Miami, Florida, where it is usually sunny, but the past couple of days it has been downpouring of rain, and we haven't been able to go outside much. So that is me.
Let me just say this before we get started. The sun is in Chicago. Yesterday, it was 87 degrees, and today it is 85 degrees. So the sun is here. So once it's all done, we'll send it back to you, okay?
Awesome. I'll take it.
Anyway, so I read your bio on your website, and it's very impressive. And your dedication to first-generation college students is amazing. So first of all, I want to thank you for your dedication to first-generation college students. I myself was one, and so this is very important to me, and this is why I am so excited about our interview on today. With that being said, though, do you have any suggestions for first-generation college students during this pandemic?
Yes. So personally, I know what it's like to be a first-generation student because that is what I am. I was the first in my family to graduate from college, and I know firsthand many of the barriers that students can experience when they're trying to navigate these waters by themselves. So one thing I would let students know, whether you're first generation or not, is that there's a lot of support and help out there. So whether it be your school counselor, the scholarship mama, or just asking around your network, your peers, the adults in your life, there are multiple people that can hold your hand and support you when it comes to filling out your FAFSA, registering for classes, no matter what it is. You can even reach out to the college or university that you plan on attending, and I'm 100% sure they have multiple people on campus that will be able to provide some type of assistance, especially virtually now that we're all home, and they'll be there to help you. So identify those people who can assist you and utilize them, and definitely don't give up. Don't allow yourself to just stop and not do anything because of what's going on. Definitely want to take care of your mental health and make sure you're in a good place. But let's use this time as a time to stay on top of our game, stay focused on our goals, and keep moving forward and not allow the pandemic to stop us from achieving our dreams and our goals.
Oh, that's great advice. And for our first generation college students, is there something that they should be focusing on this summer? Should they have a particular focus so they be ready to go in the fall? What should they be focusing on this summer?
Well, if I was a first generation college student all over again, just starting, number one is I would make sure that I have dotted all my I's and crossed all my T's. So I would contact the college or university and make sure they have all my paperwork, they have all my documentation. I don't want any hiccups because things are already crazy as it is. I don't need another barrier standing in front of me. So I would make the time to just call, make sure they have everything they need from me, FAFSA, all that good stuff. And all I need to do next is just register for classes. Another thing that I would do, which I'm pretty sure the Scholarship Mama can assist you with, is applying for scholarships, especially if you know that not your FAFSA is not going to cover everything and there's some money that you're going to have to come out of pocket for. This is a good time to start just preparing yourself. There are scholarships that are open during the summer. A lot of them will open back up in the fall, so you can start working on the ones that are currently available and then position yourself to apply for the ones in the fall, and communicate with the college as well to see what type of scholarships they have so that you can apply for those as well. So I would, again, get prepared by making sure everything is good with the college and then start prepping myself to apply for scholarships.
Yeah, those are excellent suggestions. And you are right. Scholarships are open. Scholarship providers are extending their deadline. They definitely understand that during this time is difficult for some families. So they're extending the deadlines. They even waiving some of the things like, recommendation letters, because they do understand it's just we're in a time where everything is different. And so scholarship providers want families to get scholarships. And so just keep looking. Scholarships are going to be open. I'm willing to bet probably some new ones will come online that we've never heard before, because the goal is to help students, and a lot of people want to help college students now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see influx of scholarships coming up, but that's a great tip. Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
I want to talk about, you are an author as well, and you wrote the book, A Student's Guide to Succeeding in School, Work, and Life. Can you share some insights on your book?
Yes, so I wrote this book because I thought it would be a great resource and tool for students from, let's say, middle school. I think an eighth grader who is advanced and, willing and dedicated could read this book and get something from it, all the way up to a college student who is in their undergrad or graduate program. And in the book, I really just focus on those habits that I believe once we develop them and create them and practice them, not only will it impact us while we're in school, but it'll impact us and be beneficial to us for all of our life, when we get into college, when we find the career that we've been, working so hard for, and just in life in general. So things like saving your coins, what that looks like, how you cope with stress, super important. Again, it could be coping with stress in school, coping with stress at home, coping with stress while you're on the job. So I really took those things that are things that we all face, no matter what age we're in, or what if we're in school or at home, married, or with our kids, or et cetera. And I really just focus on those habits that I think will be beneficial for students to start implementing now, so they get to benefit from it for the rest of their life.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Higher Education Advocates podcast listeners, Scholarship Momma is bringing to you a Scholars Playbook Virtual Summit. That's right, you can log in from the comforts of your home. Get ready for 10 impactful presenters who are subject matter experts in their respective fields. The date of the online event is Saturday, August the 8th, from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You are welcome to stay for the entire event or log into a session that is of benefit to you. Each presenter will present for 15 minutes with time for Q&A. You can register at scholarshipmomma.com/summit. That's scholarshipmomma.com/summit. ScholarshipMomma.com/SUMMIT. See you Saturday, August the 8th. And can you give us some examples, like how can a student succeed in this environment? So can you give us an example of how can a student succeed in school with everything that's happening now? What exactly?
Yes. So some of the things that students can do, especially now with COVID, is number one, utilizing your resources. So knowing what's available to you via your school counselor, your college, your CAP advisor. And once you have those resources, actually putting them into play. So if you're struggling with mental health right now, and you're given a resource, whether it's a Zoom call that you can do with a counselor, a therapist, or some type of activity that helps you to relieve the stress and issues that you're currently dealing with, then utilizing that is what's going to make the difference. So reaching out to those people that can connect you with resources, and reaching out to those people who are a resource. So I know, Ms. Teresa, you're a resource for students that are looking for scholarships and applying for scholarships. So it's one thing for me to know you and ask you for scholarship help, but it's another thing to implement. And one of my great mentors told me when he started being a mentor to me, that information without implementation leads to frustration. So no matter how much information you get, if you're not implementing it, if you're not putting it into play, you're going to find yourself in the same situation that you're in now. And also just to take care of yourself every day. Do something that's good for you, whether that's exercising, talking on the phone with a friend, drawing, writing in your journal, as we start to open up a little bit more, going out to get lunch, but of course, making sure that you're social distancing and having your mask on and taking care of yourself and caring for others. So, utilize your resources, implement, and do something every day that allows you to take care of yourself so you can be in a good place.
Awesome. What would you say, how can a student succeed at work? Or just like you said, your book is really geared towards college students as well, and so they can implement that as well. So what would you say about work life?
So in my book, I talk about the importance of emotional intelligence, which again, knowing emotional intelligence and creating that as a habit to be aware of your own emotions, being aware of others, that's important no matter if you're in college or if you're in your career, you're working with other people. You don't want to be that person that, loses his cool every minute because something didn't go right, or, you're so out of tune with everyone else that you can't pick up on someone's body language or what they're kind of going through to know that this might not be a good time to approach a person. So, things like emotional intelligence, things like, being able to stay focused. I talk about having too many tabs open. Sometimes I'm working and I have like 50 tabs open on my computer, and it's very hard to focus when you have all of those things going on. So when you're at work, being able to separate what's going on at home from work, what's going on from school, like being able to separate those things so that you can focus on what's in front of you and give 100% of yourself and be able to clock out from work and then clock into home life. So yeah.
You just said something. This is a transparent moment. Apparently your book help adults too. You just said something key there, because I was doing that this morning. I had about at least probably 25 tabs open. And something just said to me, my inner voice, my emotional intelligence said to me, you need to close 24 of these tabs and focus on this one job that you're trying to do, because you're getting sidetracked by keep looking at everything else. So you just said some key. So that's a confirmation.
Awesome.
And then we want to talk about, how do students succeed in this thing we call life now as we know it. We know COVID-19 is here. I don't know, a cure it's on the way. We don't know how long, but we still have to succeed in life. And so any tips regarding that? What do you have to say about that?
Well, I think an important component of success is knowing what your vision is, because once you know what your vision is, when something like COVID comes your way, it can knock you off your track, right? But you know where to get back on track because you have a vision. And one of the things I love to encourage students and adults to do is to create a vision board and to put it somewhere where they can see it often, so that it's a reminder of their why, their purpose, the reason why they might need to go to college, why they might need to work a little bit harder, the reason why they might need to wake up in the morning and put forth maximum effort even when it's hard. So I don't think you can really succeed if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a direction, if you don't have a purpose. And that's something fun to work on, because it's you just kind of daydreaming and thinking about what life is going to look like 5 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now. And again, if you create a vision board, you're printing out pictures, cutting out pictures out of a magazine, you're gluing it on a large, cardstock paper, whatever the case is. And again, you get to revisit that every single day. And it's a reminder as to why we get up, why we put forth all the effort, and why we go through all of the headaches we do to achieve whatever success looks like for us based on our vision board.
That's awesome. Another transparent moment. I just started doing vision boarding maybe about a good 3 years ago. Never had heard of it, but it is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And so I totally agree with you. Vision boarding is very important. So there you have it. Those are some great tips. Thank you so much. Now, if someone wants to purchase your book, can you tell us what can they purchase it from and the price of the book?
Yes. So if you'd like to purchase a copy of Success Habits, A Student's Guide to Succeeding in School, Work, and Life, you can find it on Amazon. Again, it's called Success Habits, A Student's Guide to Succeeding in School, Work, and Life. Or you can either look up my name on Amazon, Rockell Bartoli, and the book should pop up.
All right. And then what's the price? I don't think
it's $19.99 on Amazon.
Okay. Excellent tips. There you have it. So go purchase the book so Rockell can share all those tips with you. How many tips is it?
I believe it's about 35. I think 35 or 32 chapters. I will double check. It is 35. 35.
All right. So 35 awesome tips.
Yes. Yeah, short, simple, sweet, to the point. And you can also, there's some chapters that allow you to write in a response. I leave room for reflection. I ask some questions. So it becomes sort of like a workbook as well.
Awesome, awesome. So let's talk about your professional speaker. So I noticed that you have spoken for notable organizations such as Florida International University Upward Bound Program, Burger King's Mac Lattimore Foundation, and Carnival Cruise Line Scholarship and Mentoring Program. Can you give us some insights or takeaways from your speeches?
Yes, definitely. So I have truly been blessed with the opportunity to partner with some amazing organizations and to connect with them and identify what the goals and needs are for their students and that specific engagement. A lot of my speaking is geared towards student success, helping students to be successful and helping to develop students into leaders on their campuses, in their schools, and as they grow into their career paths. So some of the things we focus on oftentimes in my speeches are, as mentioned before, knowing what your vision is, utilizing your resources, and, creating those authentic relationships that are going to help you to get to where you need to go. Sometimes, and I know we've all heard this before, it's not about what you know, but who you know. And it's really important to be able to serve others, care about others, and create those relationships that are going to help you thrive. And then you do the same thing for others by serving them at whatever capacity you're able to.
Oh, okay. That's good. Serve others. I think that's key as well. So I don't think we mentioned it, but then again, I think we did. You also are a high school counselor.
Yes.
So can you tell me how things are going now with the students? The year is wrapping up almost. And so how things are going?
Yes. So here in Florida, in Miami-Dade County, we are on the last 2 weeks of school. Many of our seniors are, excited to finally be done. They're graduating, even though it's not the way that they expected it to be. At my school in particular, we're getting ready to hand out their caps and gowns, like a drive-by caps and gowns handout. So they're excited about that. We do have some students, though, who have struggled, as many adults have, just transitioning from being face-to-face with a teacher to doing everything online with not much time to prepare, to practice. So it has been a struggle for many students, but teachers and principals and schools are doing their best to meet students halfway so that we can get them to pass this school year. And then, we'll see what next school year looks like. So yeah, we have seniors that are excited, some students that are just over this, they're like, I'm done with this. And then we have some students that really have struggled through the process.
Well, I want to say one thing. I admire your school for having a drive-through graduation. It's not the typical thing, but it's very creative and it's fun. And so that's exciting.
Yeah, we're going to have a virtual graduation next week, but they're picking up their caps and gowns this week so they can have them to take pictures and all that good stuff.
Oh, wow. How exciting. So what does a typical day look like for you? I mean, you're at home now, as everyone is. So what does a typical day look like for a high school counselor?
Well, I'm pretty much all over the place between trying to finish wrapping up stuff with seniors that kind of waited to the last minute to get things done, but they're working on it. So those few seniors that are pending, plus we're working on inputting the schedules for students for the next school year. Plus we are working on students that need to take classes that they have failed. So we're working on summer school, communicating with parents, responding to students. So it's quite a bit going on a day-to-day for me. I'm all over the place with text messages and emails and phone calls. And I too am looking forward to the summer. No other way to put it.
Okay, understandable. Is there anything you want our listeners to know that we haven't talked about?
I guess the biggest thing is just to be gentle with yourself, really just depending on your personality. and know that this is not the norm, right? This is not typically how we do life. So just take it one day at a time, one day at a time. That has been what I have said to every person who's like, hey, how are you? And I just take it one day at a time. I try not to stress myself out too much because that stress is going to come anyway. So I try not to add more to my plate, but I just take it one single day at a time and I give it my best, and that's all I can do. So I encourage you all to do the same.
You hear that, listeners? That's great advice. Lastly, here's my last question. How are you keeping yourself healthy during COVID-19?
I am trying to stay out of the snack cupboard, which is a very huge challenge. And I ride my bike in the afternoon. Haven't been able to ride in a while because of the weather. And I'm going to start doing some yoga with my daughter. But I was riding my bike at least 45 minutes in the evenings, and that was really good for me to kind of release stress and just get some exercise in. And I can work on eating better. That I definitely need to do. But like I said, one day at a time.
Exactly. Okay. Well, before I let you go, can you tell us how to stay connected with you? We definitely want to stay connected with you. So can you tell us how we could do that?
Yes, definitely. So I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook. You can look me up. First name Rockell, last name Bartoli. Or if you have any questions, you can email me. My email address is rockell@rockellbartoli.com. And yeah, you can send me a message via social media, and you can purchase the book on Amazon, as we stated before.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you again for taking the time to come to talk with my listeners.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on.
And thanks to all of the listeners. Until next time, we'll see you.
Bye.